Hello guys, welcome back to another Minecraft live stream. And today we are going to finish and then progress and just do our best. Let's go. I hope you guys are having a wonderful Saturday, because I know I am. At least trying to. Music is playing for me, but it's not playing for y'all. Interesting. I think I'm just gonna have to play the music on my phone, but I'm trying not to get copyrighted. That's the only worry.
Dorrell.
Yo.
I meant.
You meant? Dun, 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 dun. Oh no. Oh. I think it's fine. Yeah, my stream should be fine. Okay.
How you doing?
I'm chilling, bro. I'm just getting some Minecraft going. Dealing with my trial and tribulations. How are you, man?
Nicey.
Nicey. It says nicey. I like how the AI talks. Or the Google text-to-speech talks. Getting some Minecraft going today. Honestly, I wasn't going to live stream, but I was like, why not? Let's... I don't have
Chilling
anything
visiting
to do.
my mom's up in Greenville.
Oh yeah? Welcome to Greenville. So lately I've just been trying to deal with my emotions. Cause like when you're a Christian, you have to kind of suppress the negative emotions that you feel. And honestly, I feel a lot of, well, don't even say suppress. You just have to tame yourself. Because there's times where I want to fall. There's a lot of times where I want to fall and give into, I guess, worldly things like anger, lust, you know, pride. And, you know, that's just one of the things that we have to constantly remind ourselves not to give into. Like the other day I was feeling angry, and I was also feeling lust as well. And instead of giving into that, you know, I pray.
Right.
And, you know, I talk to God and try to make sure I'm building my relationship with Him. But sometimes it's just hard, especially being imperfect, especially being human. You want to give into these things. You want to give into these certain temptations that you just don't give into. So, going on what happened yesterday, I was just so upset. And even today, it kind of lingered on today. And instead of just being lazy and laying around, which I wanted to do, I don't even want to call it being lazy, but I got up and I started cleaning, like, and I think that was like very therapeutic. Like when I mean I started cleaning, I think it was one of the best times and I've ever cleaned my room. Also, if you hear me talking strange, just because I hear myself in the background, so I will pause and then I will continue. But yeah, it just can be hard sometimes because you want to give in, but you have to remind yourself why you don't.
Hi.
Hey, welcome. And it's good not to give in to, like, you know, depression, because, you know, sometimes it makes you not want to get up in the morning. Sometimes it makes you not want to, you know, do basic human needs like eat dinner. And it really will bring you down and make you feel unmotivated, but you don't feel unmotivated. You gotta remind yourself, like, you know, it's just a temporary sadness. Even if it happens the next day, you know, there's reasons to be happy, there's reasons to enjoy certain things. Like for me, you know, I was watching anime and that's usually my comfort. Or playing Minecraft, that's usually my comfort. Like even with those sad feelings, these moments like that is reasons to not feel sad anymore or feel depressed or the need to, you know, be in that dark spot. Like there's just certain things in life that we need to endure. And for me, what I endure is it's like anger, sadness, lust, jealousy, like just all the negative emotions that you think, you know, a person or a Christian wouldn't feel. But the thing is, it's like we feel all of that. Especially I do. I feel all of that. But I just recognize that it's not worth it. And yeah, it can be hard. You know, I don't always, you know, think like that. But it takes a while. It takes time. It takes practice. Like when you're depressed, I don't think most people think like how to practice not being depressed. And like it sounds stupid, you know, but sometimes it is a practice, just like everything else in life. Practice not how to give into darkness. But most people, like, they do the opposite. Instead of practicing not how to do it, they practice how to do it. Because once they identify the problem, they identify with it instead of against it. And yeah, it's not always an easy thing. It definitely is hard to not identify with it instead of identifying against it, which is just fighting against it, because some people get tired of fighting. They're like, why do I have to fight to be happy? Why do I have to constantly be in this state? You know, and they give up. And so now they conform with the idea of, you know, maybe this is just who I am and I have no control. And that's obviously not the case for me, or the case in general. Like, you don't want to conform to the negative thoughts that you have every day. You want to do better than it, or you want to do different from it. So like Rin Goku says, do not feel disheartened. Set your heart ablaze. And it's crazy because I do get most of my life lessons from anime.
The sword is a tool meant to kill. Why do you need it? Whose life do you intend to take?
But I also, even though I get it from like a Japanese cartoon,
Your enemies.
you know, I use it in real life. And I think that's what, like, most people are like, haha, you get your advice and your life lessons from a cartoon. I mean, isn't that the point of cartoons?
My son.
If you don't learn from what you're watching, or take like the aspect of why that cartoon is what it is. Like Steven Universe has a lot of deep life lessons. You know, accept others, be kind. Like, you know, it's not always easy. Because Steven, you know, everyone thought he was an optimist until we saw him in Steven Universe Future. But really, he's going through the trial and
Anime is
tribulation.
the best way to learn life lesson in many ways.
Yeah, right? Like, Tanjiro never really gives up. Even when things are, like, against him, you know, no matter, he pushes past, and he always prevails. He always cares about his friends, you know? Even though he lost his family. Even though he looks like he's gonna lose, like, on certain episodes. Or when his sword breaks. Or when his finger breaks. Like, the same with Deku. He gave in to the darkness, but that wasn't who he was as a character. As a character, you know, he was somebody who wanted to save others, to help others. But, you know, you dedicate yourself helping others so much, you get lost. And so that's why he has his friends, his support system, his family, because, you know, he's always helping somebody else, but, you know, as the hero, you need people to help you as well. That's why most heroes have sidekicks. That's why Batman had a sidekick, and, you know, he made friends. He even made friends with his own, like, arch enemy. So it's like just the thing of depression. It's not your intended enemy, you know? Because most people, when they are depressed, they start hating themselves, like blaming them, like why am I feeling this way? Well, that's obviously not, like, you know, it's not your fault. It's just a part of life. Like, if you don't get stressed out one day, or if you don't become depressed, like, you know, one time in your life, I mean, congratulations for you, but at the same time, it's like, are you really living? Like, you gotta live and feel all these emotions, the good and bad. And I feel like, you know, that's important to feel the good and bad of being a human. And if you're a person who's never depressed, honestly, I want to give you a round of applause, but are you really living? Or maybe you're just dealing with things better than others. But definitely there's... I think it's important to feel that way at least once in your life. You know, to think that things will suck and to know that things suck. But it's also important to think different from all the sucky stuff. And be the positive even with all the negative that you're receiving. And that's where I am right now. Like, you know, I get depressed, I get sad, I get anxious, I get all these problems, but I don't sit in it. Identify why I feel this way and try to do better. And sometimes you might even still feel in that state, even though you are doing better. Sometimes you're just reminded of all the things that we should be upset about. Or things that happened in the past that we're, you know, continually, I guess, upset about. Like, I don't think you really move on from things. Well, no, let me not say that. I don't think you'll always get hurt by some things, but you're able to move on, like, past it. Like, just because you move on doesn't mean you forget. So, like, even when it comes to being upset, like, you might be upset that someone, you know, stole your wallet or something. And then you think about it, you know, years later, even though you got a new wallet, you're still gonna be like, oh yeah, I lost my wallet this time. And it's like, even though you moved on from it, you still get a, like, glimpse. And even with, like, you know, let me take Dingy, for example, because I love anime. And Chainsaw Man, he lost, you know, his friends. He was manipulated by, you know, someone that he thought was taking care of him. And, you know, since he lost all these people in the recent fight, if you read Chainsaw Man, he had glimpses of everything that he lost. You know, when someone gets glimpsing of everything they're lost, or reasons of being depressed, or reasons to be sad, you know, you thought you would get it, you would think you give in, but he didn't necessarily give in to, you know, he was able to, you know, be the hero and win, instead of being chained down by those emotions. And that's the whole point that I'm trying to make. It's like, if you're ever upset, don't let your emotions change you down, or chain you down. Instead, try to move past it. Even if you're crying, you know, or even if this feeling is so upsetting that you know, you feel like that you need to cry, or you need to be depressed for a little bit. Like, that's perfectly fine. Like, things isn't easy. Like, for me, like, today, I needed to lay down. And, you know, even if I didn't want to lay down, I knew that you had to let your feelings go by. Sometimes you have to cry. Like, even some days I don't even know why it happens. Sometimes it's just necessary. You don't always need a reason for something. Especially when it comes to emotions, you don't need a reason why you feel this type of way. It's human. Some people may think, why do you have this opinion? You know, sometimes it's just natural. Because at the end of the day, you're still human. Like, you're gonna feel unnecessary things. You're gonna feel, like, sometimes sad for no reason, angry for no reason, happy for no reason. It's just, we're human. We're not always in control of our instincts. I don't even want to call it an instinct, but our emotions. And we try to control as much as possible, even though like most things are out of our hands. But being chained down by the thing that, you know, we can't necessarily control would just lead you deeper into that feeling.
You ever bought Reese's while eating Reese's? That is some boss behavior.
So like like I was using that example of Dingy, he got reminded of everybody who he lost, and so, you know, instead of being chained down by it,
The sword is a tool.
instead of being upset and remaining upset, he recognized his loss and he was able to move past it. I don't think he ever forgets it. You know, I think some days that he's reminded of it over and over and over again. The funny part is he just cuts his vein. But I don't think he ever forgets.
Listen to me, my son.
And I think that's important, to never forget, but to move on, to be content with it. I think, like, sometimes I like to think of it like this. I befriended my depression. I befriended my sadness. I befriended my flaws. Because, like, once you befriend yourself truly, I feel like that's when you can actually try to live, instead of having all these burdens and or all these, you know, I guess trauma, past trauma. I guess once you sit down and be content with everything that you did, and plus, you're like I said before, I'm not a perfect person. I can remember every single one of my mistakes to this day, but I give myself grace instead of always, you know, being upset that I made this mistake, or chasing, you know, I guess validation, or chasing what's it called, acceptance for the mistake that I made, or forgiveness for the mistakes that I made. It's just you recognize what you did wrong and you try to be better as a person. Makeup. And the only problem that I have with everything that I'm saying is people are going to identify it with the wrong things. Like, lately I've been seeing everybody say, oh my god, be stoic, be stoic, be stoic, be stoic. Like, bro, no. You don't have to be stoic. You don't have to, you know, identify with, you know, stoicism, because that's just a whole practice of its own. That's basically a whole religion. And, like, yeah, you can go commit to that. But I think, you know, as a Christian myself, I've already know all this. Like, everything that they quote, everything that they say, the practice itself, I tend to relate it to what I'm already practicing. When you're a Christian, you recognize that you have enemies, but you love them, because people will hate you. And that, I don't know if someone who is a complete stoic can say that, you know, I have no enemies. Yeah, you're gonna have ops. It's inevitable. People are gonna hate you. People are gonna want to, like, be against you, and especially the world that we live in nowadays, where you're judged, you're shunned out. Like, people will be against you, but you learn to love them. You learn to forgive them for whatever they're doing. And it's not saying that you have no enemies. Obviously, that can't be true. People might question, like, you know, why would somebody hate you? But you gotta realize what world that we're living in. So for me, it's like, I'm Christian, so I don't understand stoicism. And maybe that's because, you know, I didn't look into it. That's not my religion, so I can't really judge it. But at the same time, it's like, everyone who watches anime and they seen Berserk or they seen Vagabond, they relate that to stoicism, when I'm just like, it's like a practice, or yeah, a philosophy. But there's also a religion as well, because they have their god, where they think it's Zeus, or the god of nature. It's Buddhism.
Polytheistic views.
Mm.
Yes, polytheistic
Mm.
views.
It's like a form of Buddhism.
They all believe in multiple gods instead of one.
You know, for me, I only believe in one God, but
Stoics, that's an emotional state. Emotional state is not.
it's a philosophy. But really, I guess you can argue that everything is a philosophy. Like every religion is a form of philosophy. I thought Stoicism was a religion.
It's a way for people to make themselves out
Stoicism or religion? Stoicism is a religion by the current standards of in the field of religious studies.
A lot has changed.
It is a philosophical doctrine as well. So I guess it can be like a little mixture of both. But you know, since I am a Christian, I can't I don't want to say understand it, because I obviously can research, I can look up things, and I can, devote my time to trying to understand it. But basically everything that it offers, it's also everything that, Christianity offers as well. Especially when it comes to the idea of, having control over your emotions. Because I still have control as a Christian. Like, most people think that, we give everything to God. Yes, you do. But it's also, how can you give something without the control of giving? Like, sometimes when I'm dealing with so much stresses at once, I relieve myself from it by just saying I'm giving it to God, which is putting a pause on all the, troubles that I'm facing. So when it comes to, like, people or relationships, obviously you're going to have to work towards building a relationship with other people. But sometimes when you give all your problems to God, you put a pause on, trying to control that thing so much, or trying to force things to work out. Instead, you just let it be how it is, trusting, God, he will let things play out. And so, but nowadays, what I'm saying about the stoicism thing, I just see a lot of people, say that they're stoic, or say that they want to be stoic, or, strive to be that thing, but they don't, commit to that thing. Like, I have friends who've always said, oh yeah, stoicism is so cool. I've been seeing this TikTok on stoicism. Like, now it's just a very mainstream thing. And so now it's a very mainstream thing, and it's gotten so much popularity, where it's like, oh, my key. Yeah, that's a very valid point. They want to be this thing, but they don't take time to practice that thing. They become, like, I guess, I don't want to say hypocritical, but they don't follow the practice if they want to be it. And you can argue that, some Christians do that too. But the point that I'm trying to make is not trying to argue between the two. It's that, if you want to strive for something, if you want to become something, then take the steps to become it. And don't just become something just because everybody else is doing it, because that's something that, we do as a society as a whole. Because everybody knows the recent meme, 1, 2, buckle my shoe. And once I say that, you're going to get the image of the guy singing that song about his shoes. But don't, don't do things, or don't, conform to things that isn't you. If you want to, I guess, go ahead, go do your thing. But you have to be an individual and not just influenced by every single thing that somebody else does. Because there's been times where I've done the same thing. Like, I'll look up, Idante, and I would say things that he says. That's because I look up to him, that I admire him. But I don't try to devote my whole personality just because I seen something on YouTube, or just because I seen something on TikTok. because conformity is a really bad thing. Even in classrooms, like, you know, if one person agrees on something and that person is popular, then most people will agree with that popular person instead of, you know, giving it a second thought. And being in student council, I see that a lot. You know, it's early in the morning, people are tired, they don't want to really, they just want to go along with the people who are talking the most, or the people who are, I want to say the loudest in the room, instead of, you know, taking time to actually think about, is this a good charity to donate to, rather than, well, it's not if it's a good charity, if this charity is, if we can represent this charity well enough, and if this charity desperately, like, you know, is in need of money, which is hard to even say with charities, because, you know, all of them need money. All of them need it for, like, something. That's why we have all these options for it. But what I'm trying to say is choice, and make sure you can have choice and not just conform. And if you do make a choice, and if you do make a decision, you know, make sure that decision is something that you made and formed yourself. Like, if you decide to, you know, recite a TikTok, make sure that, you know, person isn't, you're not using what this guy says just because you want, you know, form of popularity, or you want to, I don't know, basically be an individual and not try to be so influenced by what everybody else is doing, or care about what everybody else is doing. Rather, just care about who you are. Be yourself, not somebody that you thought was cool, and so now you want to recite what cool things that they said. But you can probably call me biased on that. I don't know, I'm just dropping advice. But it's just good to be, despite my bias, you know, emotions, it's good to be an individual and not so influenced, and not so, I guess, obsessed with someone else. And even as an artist, I feel that, you know, I feel like I have to be so obsessed with all these great artists, especially on Instagram and, you know, TikTok, or the old art masters. Like, you have to be obsessed with them, you have to study them, you have to copy them, and, you know, learn all these lessons from these, you know, big artists. But the more you copy, the more that you know, invest your time to being just like those masters, it's like you forget the natural talent that you have, or not a natural talent you have, but the talent that you have, because you're utilizing everybody else rather than utilizing what you could offer. So, like, especially in job interviews, you know, they're like, what can you offer us? You don't want to give them the same answer like everybody else gives. You want to be unique, you want to be different. So if you conform and you're always like somebody else, then you're never going to be the original you. And so that's where I thought, like, you know, what if I never had social media? What if I never, you know, never looked at TikToks, never recited I Dante, or, you know, had YouTube or any of that? I would be my true original self, like, despite what influence I get, because we're obviously very influenced by what we see. I don't think I would be, you know, how I am today if I didn't have social media. And so that's where I think to myself, it's like, okay, what if I never had it in the first place? Then would I be authentic? So the point being made is just be yourself. No matter what you view as cool, no matter, you know, who you're around, just be unique. Because you obviously have something to offer. And if you don't believe that, then you need to, you know, start studying and copying yourself. Take time to be you, and be alone and being you. I need to find diamonds, that's what I need to do. Boom, 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 boom. Also, Unknown Sands, I want to give you a shout out. Thank you for your first chat. I'm
No.
just... It's okay, I still thank you anyway. And definitely thank you for watching. Now I need to actually... I keep looking around this cave like I'm not progressing, so I'm just gonna go find a deep dark cave and take everything that I found upstairs. Cobblestone will be very useful. Especially the deep slate. I just love the textures that we can make with it. Waddles did a Minecraft guide of how to find each ore, but I didn't pay attention to it, so I don't know. I'm just gonna go to a cave system. So yeah, like I was saying before about loss, because I'm someone who's been rejected a lot. And, you know, it's just something that you have to face, rejection. And I'm learning not to be afraid of it. I'm learning not to, you know, be saddened about being rejected by friends, by applications, by, like, you know, normal, everyday things. Like, I'm learning to be content with it. And I think that's the important part, you know, learning to be content with negative, rather than letting that negative ruin you as a person. Because people will be ruined by this negative. And then they'll make questions like, why did this happen to me? I didn't deserve this. And yes, you will never deserve anything negative, but people will also allow, I keep saying people, sometimes we allow ourselves to give into it. Give into, I guess that mindset of, I didn't deserve this, I didn't deserve this, I didn't deserve this. Or give into that negative mind and stay there for a while. Like, it's okay to say, you know, I didn't deserve something, but I think where you start straying off is where you start reminding yourself every single day about that bad event that happened to you, saying that I didn't deserve this. But instead of, you know, realizing that, you know, you couldn't control what happened to you, some people identify with what happened to them. And it depends on how you do it, but sometimes that can make you stronger. But the more you identify your problems, the more you, I guess, you become one, you know? I was in a scenario where this girl I met, she always, you know, she lived with her problems. Well, I didn't want to say that. Well, yeah, she kind of lived with her problems, so she carried her burdens rather than moving on with those burdens. And, you know, that obviously I couldn't do much because, you know, I have my own problems as well. And I gave my advice, I gave my, you know, my support, I gave my love, but it didn't matter at the end of the day. Even though it helped sometimes, it didn't matter at the end of the day because it was still a constant carry. And like I said earlier, like, you know, your problems don't go away. You're able to move on from it. You're able to live with it, and mature from it. But some people, they never forgive and they never forget. Rather than forgiving and forgetting, they do the opposite, where they, you know, live with it and they hold a grudge, basically. Like, yeah, like, and sometimes, you know, not a lot of people can control that, depending on, like, what happened to them or who did what to them. which is 100% understandable. That's what trauma is. We hold on to that. It's very unfortunate. But where it becomes bad is where that trauma is living through you and not like within you, if that makes sense. You now project your trauma outwards, affecting everybody else and affecting yourself. Which is why I 100% agree with therapy, because it just gives you another outlook. The other day I asked this question too: why are people so negative? And, you know, obviously certain questions shouldn't matter, and you won't always get the answer to it. And so rather than questioning why someone's like this, why, you know, I strive to be better. I strive to also, you know, potentially, like, you know, I try to talk to people and I guess help them out, because that's always been the person I am. I've always been trying to help others, especially when it comes to their problems, because, you know, every human, we deserve support. We deserve support and to be content where we are, rather than be at war in our heads. Did I? I thought I smelled glass before. I guess I'm wrong. But with those negative people out there, they tend to project their problems onto everybody else, and, you know, no one can be happy because I'm not happy, or you don't deserve to be happy because I didn't deserve to be happy, or just, you know, you catch somebody on the wrong day at the wrong time and you end up being the person who gets yelled at. There's just a lot of things when it comes to, you know, being negative. It's like, especially using your issues and taking it out on someone else, you know. Even if a person, I guess, catches you on the wrong day, you know, I don't think you should yell at that person or affect that person because of how you feel. But, you know, obviously, sometimes it just happens and it's completely accidental. But to prevent things like that from happening, where you have to yell at somebody, even though you don't want to yell at that person, because I'm sure you feel apologetic after you yell at them, knowing that you're only upset because of what happened in your day, and you don't want to project your frustration out on that person. So to avoid that, it's like, when we are dealing with conflict, when we are dealing with problems and we just need to be alone, we should address that. Because if we don't address that, then, you know, who knows, a guy might come up to you and it's the wrong day and you're just so upset. Then you end up taking your anger out onto them. Now they're upset because you were upset. And then the chain goes on forever. So when you are upset and when you are angry, or when you feel negative, or when you're dealing with something, let people know, because if you don't communicate your problems, then everyone else will form a problem. Or now you affected that person to have a problem. And I wish communication was easy, especially for somebody who has social anxiety and someone who can't express their emotions as well as, you know, I want to. I have to be aware of what I do say, and I have to be aware of how other people do feel. That's and when you do have social anxiety, or when you do have that fear of talking to people, it's not that you don't want to talk to people. It's not that you shy away from it either. It's that sometimes you can't. You know, I long for relationships all the time. That doesn't mean I don't want to talk to people. It's just sometimes there's internal problems where I can't talk to that person. Like the other day, I really had to hype myself up. I had to understand, myself before I got into a conversation. I was like, I really want to talk to this person. I really want to go do it. And the first time, like, I saw them, I was shy. I shined away, and I was timid. I was scared. No confidence at all. And I had to, like, tell myself, like, if I talk today, and I talk to this person, then I could build a relationship with them. And even if, I get rejected, I gotta be okay, because, that's sometimes that happens. And with anxiety, you have to really breathe. You have to really try to look within, even though it's hard. Like, you're hyperventilating, you feel anxious, you feel scared, your hands start shaking. You have to take control of that. Because for a long time, I felt like I had no control, or you had no control. In recent anime that I'm watching is called My Teen Romance Comedy. It's so good. It's the one where the guy talks about why I don't like nice girls. Obviously he has a lot of problems. He's a very negative person. He wants to build relationships, but he ends up getting in his own way. But he learns to, build that confidence and learns to be around people, which that's why I really like that anime. Because, like, even if the main character is negative and he acknowledges he is negative, he still tries to do better than who he was before. He still builds relationships and learns and utilizes, like, what's around him rather than, neglecting it all. And that's the animes I like, where the main guy is bad and he becomes good. Or he recognizes his problems. Like with Deku and Bakugo. Bakugo obviously had his problems. He had this inferiority complex where is it inferiority court? I don't know. It's probably got a complex, but whatever complex it is, he couldn't let his guard down. He always had to be the best, or be better, or be like All Might. And the same with Deku. He always wanted to be the best. He always wanted to be like All Might, but then there's just some things that you don't take into account. Like Deku didn't take support as an account, or Bakugo didn't take that either. So once they actually started to become friends, you saw like how they learned and how they grew. And Bakugo was annoying for me for a while. I didn't understand him. I didn't understand his character. And sometimes that's the same energy that I give to my friends. Like, I just don't understand you. It's not your job to be a know-it-all. It's not your job to judge people off of who they are. And that's even goes for me. I'm saying, like, this is a lesson I'm projecting and also, like, internalizing. It's like, it's not your job to judge everybody and who they are. It's your job to either accept them or find somebody new. And so once you accept Bakugo, once you accept Deku, that's when you can truly be friends. You could have total, like, different opinions and share the same interests. Bakugo had different opinions than Deku, and Deku had different opinions than Bakugo, but they still were able to become friends through their liking of becoming a hero and becoming like All Might. And that's how they really grew. So even with my friends, if they have total different opinions of me, I'm going to tell my friends, that's where I understand the opinions could be different. I understand that the perspective could be different, and we can, actually be friends because we're accepting each other's differences. And that's what I really like when it comes to My Hero Academia. That despite these different characters, these different ideals, these different personalities, they can always come together and find a commonality. So that's when I can't wait to see Shigaraki become saved by Deku, because these two personalities who both longed for the same thing but ended up in like the wrong different views of the world. When he finally realizes, you know, there's another way. That's why wrong and right becomes kind of vague. Because maybe for the villain, they think all this is right, but for the hero, they think all of it is wrong. But when Shigaraki and Deku finally have that conversation, or finally have that battle, they can finally utilize what they did wrong and how, or what they did different, and how we can suggest things to be different rather than tell this person, like, you know, this is wrong. Rather, this is different. Obviously, killing people are wrong. Like, yeah, like there's just certain things that, yes, are wrong 100%. But it's the way of thinking that needs to be changed. Or that could be changed if you give yourself a chance. Like, you may think that, you know, this sucks, or this live stream is garbage, or this is good, or, you know, this tree right here, it's the best looking tree out of all the trees. But once you, like, change your perspective, you're like, okay, maybe this tree looks good, maybe that tree looks good. But another way of looking at this situation is that, you know, I hate this tree, and so I cut it down, and I forever forget about it, and I go to the next tree, I'm like, okay, I hate the last one, I'm gonna hate this one. And then so now you're gonna spend your whole Minecraft live stream hating trees, you know, cutting them down instead of replanting them. But once you realize, or once you get to the last tree and it drops a sapling, you're like, I can replant this tree, and instead of hating it, I can learn to love it. And I think that's key. You know, I could go to that mountain over there and I could love that mountain. But just because I love it doesn't mean I can't, you know, take a piece of it and learn from it. Or just because I hate it, like, same conversation, just because I take the whole thing down, that doesn't mean I can't build a new mountain. That's why choices, especially in My Hero Academia, is important, because Shigaraki was a villain only because he was traumatized, and also he was manipulated. Deku was a hero because, you know, he's been through so many things in his life where he wants to fight for good, and he was obsessed with All Might. And he got that opportunity, but Shigaraki didn't get that opportunity. They live in polar opposite worlds, but yet once they meet each other, once the hero and villain meet face to face, it's the battle of ideology. Because Deku was wrong, Deku was also right. Shigaraki was wrong, but Shigaraki was also right. And I like that humanity. Like, it reveals to you that everyone is imperfect. You might see the cutest girl in the world, and you're just like, oh my gosh, I have to be with her. But, you know, you also have to recognize, it's like, what are the pros and cons? Not that she's so perfect. Even though, that, you know, you would like to view like that, you know, somebody's so perfect. But nobody's perfect other than God. People will walk with imperfections, and they live their life that way. And that's what you should do. Be imperfect. You know, do mess up. Go through trial and error. If you don't go to trial and error and learn from it, then how would you ever, you know, learn in general? You have to go through those trial and errors. Oh, I found an ally. I just don't know how to tame it. Oh, it's 3. Is it 3? Yeah. 3 allies. Okay, I'm gonna keep y'all in there for a little longer, because I don't know how to... My show broke. Oh no! Oh, oh yeah, I forgot. Water nullifies the explosion. So I fixed the house a little bit. I went mining. The goal is to go to the nether, so I need to find one more diamond and we're good. So once I find that one more diamond, we can go to the nether. We can enjoy our Minecraft live stream. But yeah, I'm not gonna sit here and, you know, think I know it all, because I don't know it all. I only know what I know. And, you know, even with my ideology, I don't know everything. Like, I do spend my time, you know, questioning why, you know, why people are negative, rather than, you know, asking. You know, there's a lot of things that I feel like I could be doing that I'm not doing, but, you know, I'm just imperfect. And, you know, I can't tell you that I'm going to strive for perfection, because that's just impossible. I'm not going to tell you that everything I did in my life was good, because no, it hasn't. But the things that, you know, I went through. I can't change what I've gone through. I can't change who I was. I can't change the past, is basically what I'm trying to say. I can only change my actions moving forward. And the way I think moving forward as well. Because just because I stole candy at the 6th grade, doesn't mean I'm gonna steal candy again, you know? I still stole. I still, you know, do wrong. But it's not the fact of me continuing to do wrong. It's me recognizing that what I stole, you know, that was a lesson, and not to do it again. And, you know, the people I meet are a lesson, and to either choose to go and meet people like the people I already met, or do I, you know, do something different. Now that's what my life is. It's that I know that I was a terrible person. I know that I'm being a better person. I know that I'm taking steps to accomplish things in life, and to learn and recognize things that some people may not recognize. I'm like, control myself when it comes to those emotions. I know I can't control how I feel, how I respond, but I can control how I act and how I respond. So, like, in how I can put that in simple ways. Someone yells at you, "I hate you." I can't control my response of feeling that emotion, that someone just kind of threw a knife at me. But I can control what the next steps are. I can control what I say. I can control my actions, but I cannot control the feeling of someone just yelled at me saying that they hated me. Because I'm still going to feel that, you know. I'm still going to feel that emotion of someone screaming at you, saying that I hate you, or I want nothing to do with you. But I can control what I say, or what I do. So, if you are accused, and you know you didn't do anything. If you are accused, you're still going to feel accused. But your next actions, like, controls, and it shows whether you're going to identify with that problem or you're going to address it. And it's all about how you address it. Because if you address it the wrong way, you're still going to look accused.
They say you can't put a price on your mind. In a AAA membership, for about $1 a week, you get more stuff, like help with flex, lockouts, and net batteries, and more.
Hopefully that makes sense, because my rambles are very, I feel like I understand them, but I think explaining them is only the hardest part. All these metaphors. Alright, the goal is to find a diamond. We need, oh yeah, and I need craft another shield. Solo witch over there. Ooh. And I don't have milk. I could also start a farm, to be honest with you. I do want to make this look better. So yeah, basically takeaways is to have control, to have choice, and to have fun. Recognize that, you know, you're not always going to be perfect, and it's impossible to be perfect. That you have your flaws, but you can continue to move forward. People can accept you for who you are, no matter what you've done in the past. It doesn't define you in the present. Yeah, and that's my Dorrell takeaways. And accept rejection. I know it's scary. I know you want it, but not everything goes our way in life. I know you wanted this badly. I know you felt like you deserved it, that it belonged to you. But in reality, you lose and you win, or you win or you lose. So continue to try to win, and win for yourself rather than win and live for other people. I'll be right back, y'all. Put this on pause. Alright, y'all. I am back. Hopefully I didn't stay here for too long. I see a problem. We're gonna try to do this. Okay, and now I'm gonna make stairs. And so now I can think and figure this out, because obviously it's not gonna work out. Okay, yeah, I think that's gonna work out. It looks fine. I gotta work on talking, because sometimes I would just be silent for a little bit, but try to make some conversation going here. So I'm trying to make this stairway go down. Hello, sheepy. I'm actually gonna spare your life, because I think I might need you. Come on. Come on, sheepy. Come on. You're gonna be my buddy now. Come on. You're not that big. Come on. I guess you are. Big boy. Hello. Thank you. Now you wait in here. Rises the moon. So I do want this world to continue on. I have a lot of plans for my Twitch. There's a lot of custom options that I also want to do and learn how to do. But, you know, this is just a process. Because I really do enjoy live streaming. It gives me a chance to talk and gives me a chance to pass time and, you know, meet new people, build an audience and build a community. So I really do want to continue this, and make this world, you know, eventually overpowered. Minecraft is so relaxing for me. Eventually, I do want to start a server. You know, just have a lot of people come. Oh. This is not a good scenario. See, now I can just sprint up my stairs. Look at the sheep already getting comfortable. Thank you. So I didn't know how to get YouTube going on my thing. Or I didn't know how to put music on Twitch or to customize my, you know, Twitch comment section. Because usually people have, like, you know, pictures. They have, like, you know, rules and instructions for the chat, you know, to be nice, be kind, and all that. I don't know how to do that yet, but, you know, I'm going to learn. We're going to get there. Sheep, I'm going to build you a pin. I didn't think about making it indoor. Oh yeah, whatever. I got an idea. I really do want to find that diamond this episode though, but it seems like I'm just doing more overworld things. But that's fine as well. We're gonna do an underground farm. Or a holding pen. I just want my home to feel a lot of homey, like feel more homey. I'm gonna look up an idea real quick. Underground Minecraft farm. So I'm just getting, okay, that's also a good idea. People are so creative. That's why I love Minecraft. Wong. Wong, 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 wong. So I'm thinking I can use oak wood to kind of, you know, show support beams. So that's the farm for right now. I'm gonna put just a bunch of animals in here. There you go. Ain't that beautiful?
You hear all the time about Diamonds Direct's prices and selection and warranties. All true, and all good reasons to give us a visit. But what really sets Diamonds Direct apart is something that's hard to put into words. But you will feel it. You'll know it from the minute you walk in. It's our unique culture, our passion, our genuine and absolute desire
Alrighty.
to totally
Now we can get our sheep. Bring them in there.
It's why we do what we do. Diamonds Direct. Your love.
Alright, that's our first sheep. Light this area up. Alright. Well, let's see what this wandering stranger is trading. Hello, good sir. Okay. and you are trading a tube coral block. They're still growing. Alright, so while those things are growing, I am going to go mining because I need to get that one more diamond. Then we're going to be good. Get my torches. Alright, got sticks, got wood. Food is good. I shouldn't run out. I should go back and get more just in case. This is gonna be fun. Cause I have this curse of dying in my Minecraft worlds over and over and over again. Every time I'm trying to find a diamond. But once we get this one diamond, we can get more room in there for our sheep. Yeah, let me check my armor. Use a shield. It's about to break, so I should probably make another one. Nah, we'll just use it. Hopefully that doesn't come back and bite me in my freaking butt. Okay. I'm so excited to get this diamond. I'm gonna take a bucket with me just in case.